All right, we've got the third episode of the Park It Podcast. I'm here with Ian Wolsten, and how's it going, man?
It's going well. Thank you for having me on this lovely podcast.
Oh, thanks. It's got a format, a structure. It's got everything you would expect from a podcast.
I didn't get a script, which I'm upset about.
I'll send you the script right now.
Thanks. I could just have the lines.
Yeah. We got the wacky gong section of the show. But how's the day off? Right?
Day off, baby. That's right. I'm in Jersey now. I live in New York, but I'm here seeing my parents. Um, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know you were in New York.
Yeah, I live in Harlem.
Nice. You know, I haven't been to Harlem
Love
in
it there.
well, I haven't been anywhere in a long time
Yeah, exactly.
because of reasons.
It's very sad over there. It's usually a very lively neighborhood, and it is not loud out there anymore.
Yeah. New York is like it's kind of a ghost town right now, which is
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
Surprisingly enough, it's still pretty crowded in Midtown and stuff, but
Hmm.
up by me where people just live, it's not really happening.
Yeah. If I was like into like film and directing, like it'd be unethical, but I would definitely use all this,
Like
like
loud.
yeah. There's so many settings you probably wouldn't need a permit for right now.
Yeah, exactly. It could never happen again. This could be a once in a lifetime thing.
Nah.
I
This
hope
is
it
a
is.
weird. This is a weird aside, but I watched the movie Vanilla Sky with Tom Hanks at some point. Not
I
Tom
don't know
Hanks,
if I've ever
Jesus
seen
Christ.
it.
Tom Cruise.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's not. It's like a remake of the Spanish film called Abre los Ojos, which is Open Your Eyes.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, and there's a scene where like Tom Cruise is like driving through like Times Square and there's like nobody there. And I was like, oh, that's some pretty good green screen work. And apparently they actually shut it down.
That's expensive.
Yeah,
It the beginning of quarantine. It was really weird because we've seen Times Square empty during like hurricanes and stuff,
sure.
but never like while it's nice out. So seeing the Times Square camera in like May, where it's just like completely empty on a beautiful day, is
Yeah,
weird.
striking, really. It.
Times Square is a weird thing though. Like what
What
I've
is
never
it?
understood. Like what is it? My cousin came to New York for the first time last year, and he was like, the first I have to see Times Square.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, but like,
right.
why? You want to
Yeah,
see
it's
billboards?
as someone that used to live in DC, like the things that people would go see that you just like take for granted at a certain point. It's like, what that
Yeah.
obelisk we got over there? Why do you want to see that?
Did you live in DC?
Yeah, I lived there for a little bit. I grew up in Maryland, and after I went to school over at Rutgers, I lived in DC for a couple of years. And
Wow.
yeah, I was a bartender at times, other random stuff, but yeah, great, great city,
You ever
great
make drinks
people.
for any senators? Any senators order some old fashions?
Now, I think the the closest thing to that is one time Marion Barry, the former sort of disgraced and not disgraced mayor of DC, came in our restaurant and had like a sandwich or something. It was,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. That guy, he had a career. Everyone thinks this Trump guy is like the craziest thing we've ever seen. It's like, nah, we had a crack mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot crazier. Who is the guy? I don't think it was America, but who's the guy who looked like Chris Farley?
Oh, damn.
That was Do you know who I'm talking about? That loose cannon
I I think I know
that
what you're
came
talking
out that
about.
he was on crack too.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that a Canadian guy, right?
Canadian, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't remember the name.
I have
Doesn't
to look it
matter.
up. You know what? We've got resources, and this is a podcast, right? We got a
Yeah, we have the internet.
Canadian. I'm just going to type Canadian crack politician, and we'll see
Chris
what.
Farley.
And Chris Farley. We'll throw that in there too.
Yeah.
Rob Ford.
Rob Ford.
That's right.
That's a great name for someone who ended up in disgrace.
Yeah. Oh damn, that guy died.
Did he
You know?
die?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's all good, like it's just a moment in time. It's a historical fact. Apparently in
Rest in
2016,
peace.
he was living fast and hard. Yeah. It's like unfortunately, like excuse me, unfortunately, because politicians are so unpopular, like you're never gonna get like the like those like Forever 27 posters like Jimi Hendrix and
Yeah, yeah.
for
There's
like
a short shelf life.
yeah, it's like Sarah Palin, Donald Trump, um, someone like I don't know Hoover.
Mount Rushmore would be a mess if we kept building on it.
Oh, that'd be great, great. I mean, I bet like because my opinion about politics these days is like at this point it's basically just like a giant grift. It's like I just want to make like forever my president shirts and have like Trump and like Tupac style angel garb.
Always my president.
Oh yeah, always. Oh man, I would shut down Times Square so Donald Trump can just like ascend to the heavens.
I wanna try to buy the Donald Trump robot from the Hall of Presidents because they
Yeah,
can't keep. I wonder if they'll actually keep it there.
really. Yeah, I wonder actually. It's like I don't know why I just had like a that idea of like Rocky. I think it's Rocky 4 when the robot comes out. He's like, "Happy birthday!" Like if you could get Donald Trump to just say "Happy birthday, Ian" on every day but your birthday.
Get the Trump robot on Cameo.
Yeah. Oh man, cameo. You've done some cameo work, right?
I tried to get on Cameo, but it
They,
didn't end up working.
they shut
I
you
got
down.
pretty far.
Yeah.
I had like so the like Cameo engineers. I emailed the team
Yeah.
and like a long psychotic email about how I want to get on Cameo and send them a video like of what a Cameo would look like, just me
Sure.
like saying happy birthday.
Sure.
And a couple of them agreed to send videos back to me saying that I should be on Cameo, like in support of hashtag Ian should be on Cameo.
Okay.
Um, but then that was it. I think that they were just joking around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they joked around.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
But I would have liked to be on Cameo.
I think eh, out of all the people I know, I think you like a good bit. Like I like a good bit too.
I love a good bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I still got my Fuller House mask downstairs.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for the support of
No,
Fuller
no.
House. You've been
If
on
we were
like
more
every single
famous, that
Fuller
would be
House show.
like a thing. That would be our your between two ferns.
I would have loved to do what I if that had built into what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Would have been good.
This damn pandemic, man.
Damn pandemic, we got so close.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing any pandemic activities? Like I've been I see you got a guitar. I've been trying to teach myself to play guitar, like Machine Gun Kelly, and it's not working out so good.
Oh,
There it
God.
is.
I hate Machine Gun Kelly. Hate.
Do you hate rapper Machine Gun Kelly, or do you hate or both? Like both iterations.
I hate both.
Yeah.
I just hate him. He's a shapeshifter. He's not a real. Doesn't care about anything. He just kind of wants to be in the spotlight, and it's working.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like,
no hate on his knowing of what works. But
yeah. He's a
like I work on a radio station, and we play him. I think 5 times every hour. Like we shouldn't play anyone that often.
Yeah, that's
especially
a lot.
Someone who like, what does he sing about? Like he has a song called "My Ex's Best Friend."
Yeah.
How are we playing that so often?
Like, I don't know the answer to this, and I know it's available to me, just like Rob Ford's information. But like, how old is Machine Gun Kelly? Like 30, maybe.
I think he's in his 30s, and he's
Yeah.
dating Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox, who's slightly older than he is.
Mhm.
That's just I don't know. Like, this really is giving me like Warped Tour vibes, and I'm not sure why a man in his 30s would be making that music.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like some residual energy from Warped Tour
Yeah,
that should have died with Monster Energy drink.
yeah. Like talking about liking a good bit. Like I would love to write the script of like Machine Gun Kelly was just a dude that went to a cursed porta potty at Warped Tour, and now he's
Came out with a shitty mohawk.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I actually was talking to a friend about like a premise that again, if I was more ambitious, I would actually go with it. It would be Freaky Friday, but the only thing is you'd be trading algorithms. So like I'm me and my friend like she lives in Oregon, and I would just like to see her seeing my algorithm and me seeing hers, and like
You mean
that
like
being
targeted ads?
yeah, totally,
Like
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
for sure. My phone knows me pretty well. Um, except when I get like Amazon and Wish.com things, it's like
Okay,
why did I get these? But it knows that I like coffee, so
okay.
it pushes coffee at me. It knows that I like watches, so it
Hmm.
pushes watches. But
That's
it definitely
interesting.
knows what I want.
Yeah, there was a funny enough that that was one of them. There's like this link you can go to, and it's like it has all of like the Google like thing ads that they think you would like. And I was like, same thing. I was like Swiss watches and like I don't know, like frog TikTok. I don't know. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like I don't know what that is. I like a good watch. I like a good
I love
watch.
watches.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, I've always wanted to like. I see myself whenever I retire, learning how to build watches.
That is that is tough. That's a
It's
tough.
so hard.
Yeah. This, this is another one of those asides. I think this episode's gonna have a lot of those. I was watching the remake to Superfly, a movie that came out in 2018, and there's a reference to one of the guys wearing a flashy watch, and like uh, he's supposed to be keeping the heat down because they're drug dealers, and he's like, "Ew, you're wearing a George Daniels watch," and I was like, "Huh, George Daniels," and I like researched the guy. He was like a master craftsman, like a horologist. That's
Some
I
of the
think that's what
shit
they're
they
called.
build is insane.
Oh yeah, yeah. This. What do you think? Are you like a quartz guy? Are you like what
I
type of
like
action?
fossil. I
Fuck.
like fossil watches that have a skeleton
Okay.
look, so they're like automatic, but if you like shake them, it makes it tick.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but you could also see like the inner workings of it. Those are the watches I like.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Um, my rabbi, when I was a kid and I still went to Hebrew school, had a paperweight in his office that had all the pieces of watches like suspended.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And that was the first time I was like, "Oh, watches are pretty
They're
insane."
pretty. They're pretty badass. I mean, like, I have this feeling, and I think you might agree with me that like we're weirdly probably in like a renaissance right now. Um, just like creative types like us are just like doing random artsy shit. And I
Yeah,
think that like maybe in 20 or 30 years, people are gonna look back and like, oh my God, their OnlyFans account. These guys were brilliant.
I'm trying to get on OnlyFans.
You could do it, man. Don't sell yourself short.
Thanks. I wonder what the demand would be.
Hey, you never know until you try, man.
Well, like what product?
I
I would have to see what people are willing to buy.
yeah, yeah. You know what would be again talking about a bit? Like I would just do like body pillows and just like you with like body pillows and just being like, yo, have an Amazon like wish list with different ones.
Hell
And
yeah.
then send that to
Maybe
Cameo.
maybe sends a Cameo. Although I don't know if I want to be on Cameo anymore. You know, they're jumping the shark. You know, Afterpay, they do Afterpay on there
They're
now.
doing Afterpay now?
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
I mean, that's so that they could price up these cameos and these poor
This-
people who buy a Rosie O'Donnell cameo
yeah,
for
these poor people.
$500.
But
Not poor
after
people, but like
I know
sad.
what you mean. Um, but yeah, Afterpay, that's four easy payments of $125.
Exactly. But then in someone on Cameo's head, it's like, oh, that's only $125, but it's
Right,
really four times that.
right. That is such a weird moment in time that you can finance an interaction with Rosie O'Donnell from like
Yeah,
your toilet.
terrifying.
It is. It is. I mean, I don't know. I think you're right. That is jumping the shark, right? Like I'm former, I don't know, quarterback Brett Favre. Happy
Yeah,
birthday, Susan.
it's the saddest thing seeing someone's on Cameo. Like that's a shame.
Yeah.
There's a new version of Cameo called I forgot what it's called. Fan something, but it's
Okay.
a live version of Cameo where you could live chat with celebrities, video chat, and the big person they have, their like home run is Tim Curry.
Okay. That is a big.
It's
That's a
huge,
get.
but it's very sad to watch the archives because he's so confused and not sure who he's talking to,
Oh
and
man.
clearly just like whoever cares after him set up a camera
Yeah.
and is like, you got to talk to these people. They're giving you $50 for a
Nigel
minute of your
Thornberry,
time.
man. I don't know. It's a democratization of that I don't agree with. I miss the old Sweet 16 days, like you go up,
Yeah,
my daddy bought me a Lamborghini. It's
yeah.
like a bouncy castle full of champagne, like you used to have
My
to.
Super Sweet 16 should come back.
It should come back. But like Machine Gun Kelly, it should be like it's like follow up from like 16 and pregnant, like 16, 20 years later. It's like I'm 36.
Or like my kid now has a Sweet 16 coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
damn.
not 16 and pregnant.
Damn. Whoa.
Inception.
Yeah, I was about to say it's the watch suspended in time.
You build in that universe, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a scene from The Watchmen.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. That'd be sad, but we would do it. We would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, obviously, I sent you some kind of required watching before we did this. It was like Rebecca Black's new old new song, and
Yep. My favorite.
it's cool that like she had like a comeback because like going back to like the Sweet 16 thing, it's like that was not good for anybody
That must have
involved.
been so hard, though.
Had to be.
It
So,
wasn't even her fault. It was her
no,
fucking parents.
no, it's like all
Yeah.
she did was showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the real, like you said, the real story is the producer, the parents. Like, there's a lot of adults that should be paying for her therapy.
Yeah, I hope they are. I mean, clearly she went to therapy and got got help because she's
She seems to be thriving.
yeah.
I hope
I
so.
liked Girlfriend, that single that she put out.
Yeah, yeah.
And this remix is
So,
awesome.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
so leaning into what I would want to get as far away as possible from, you know?
yeah. I think in general that is the move. Like, I know typically on this podcast I talk about politics a little bit, but like, I think that's what Trump was really good at. It's just like some intern would come and be like, "Oh my God, Mr. President, your approval rating. They said you can't say that," and you're just like, "Nah, fuck it, I'll do it
Yeah.
again." Like, just lean in.
Yeah, that's true. Just like follow the likes, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what he did. When he like when he said that he could stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and he wouldn't lose support,
He's
I
right.
was so like shocked by that sentiment. And then like after a year, I was like, oh, he was right.
Yeah,
He's 100% correct. Like he can't do anything.
yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah, he's Teflon Don, man. He's got away. Obviously, you heard the last episode, and turns out I was right. I was like, Sarah, excuse me, Sage. Trump is going to get acquitted. Uh, that was going to happen. That little witness thing was a little strange. Like, I think they kind of short circuited their fake trial. They're like, wait a minute, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
they
Who's
went
the
back.
plot? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the script I sent you.
Yeah. I got that.
He,
I think that the second impeachment, although I would love to see the man have any sort of consequences, it's a waste of time
yeah, no,
and resources.
you're 100% right because I'm seeing a lot of people, and I think time will heal this wound. But I'm seeing a lot of people who are like, "Oh, the Democrats didn't fight hard enough." It's like, no, you don't want to see what that fight looks like. You don't like. There are Don McGahn was subpoenaed to be a witness from the first impeachment. That hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Right. So it's like, do we want to do this for another year? Do we want to potentially stop relief checks from going out to like have 3 more Republicans vote guilty?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Well, what's the point? Like, what are we trying to get at?
Yeah, I think
It,
the Democrats basically, by my account, got everything they needed, right? Like you impeached him, you knew he was never going to get convicted. You got Mitch McConnell to be like, Trump is guilty, but I'm gonna quit him because of some process procedural rule. So it's like that's political fodder to me. You have the leader of the Republican Party saying the boogeyman we're afraid is going to run again in 4 years is like guilty. So
mhm.
you know, run with that.
Even if he doesn't run again, someone else will.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
it could be Don Jr. It could be some other person that just watched him from afar.
yeah,
I think he wrote a playbook that is now going to be used by someone with actual intelligence, which is
yeah.
scary.
Well,
Like he's
if you're,
just a bull in the china shop, but he wrote a playbook that someone who has been in DC
yeah,
could do some real damage.
yeah. To your point, I think trying to draw from the Trump bloodline isn't the smartest way to get an intelligent person. But yeah, you can see like I think Ted Cruz is too unlikable. Like clearly, Josh Hawley's trying to do that, right? He's trying to be the next Trump. You know, it. My early prediction, and we'll play this back in 4 years maybe, is that Trump is going to make it look like he's running for as long as it's viable, and at the last minute he's gonna be like, eh. And meanwhile, siphoning a bunch of fundraising money from the Republicans and leaving them kind of like high and dry.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think he could also launch his own party very easily.
yeah.
Um,
I think McConnell and company are going to try their damnedest to stop that from happening. But if it does happen, yeah, the Republicans have some major issues for a while.
and the Democrats, we're all
That's true.
fucked. If he chooses to make his own party, it's gonna be bad. That's like half the country is gonna be in a brand new party.
Yeah, it takes a while for like that type of power to kind of like coalesce and like manifest itself. It's like I could see a third party like that doing well in like the state level. I just
Mhm.
couldn't see him winning like a general election, you know. But
Yeah,
maybe he could get the Republicans to make some sort of dark deal with him again, you know.
yeah, could happen.
It's not like we didn't see that once. Yeah.
How
But
insane!
yeah, it's crazy. What are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna
And
do?
then his presidency ends with all of us locked inside our fucking homes because we're dropping like flies. What
Yeah,
a nightmare.
yeah. That's it. That's the one thing that's been interesting, right? Like, and I get the argument that this is nobody's fault. It was like somebody's fault, somewhere. But just the idea that like uh when things were happening like in Portland and stuff like that last year, and people were like, this is Biden's America. It's like, no, it's not.
Right.
Like this is quite literally Trump's America. This is
Yeah.
the American carnage.
This is the American carnage. This is what happens.
I'll keep the same energy for Biden. Like if it's 2 years from now and like we're in caves instead of our homes, then I'll be like, no, what?
Something's not right here.
Bring back the orange guy, dude. But I don't think we get out of this spiral. Like again, talking about your love of a bit, like the Masked Singer and the Masked Dancer. Like I watched an episode of the Masked Singer and I was like, oh, we're fucked. This is it.
Yeah. I'll never forget when this pandemic first started, Trump went on live TV and said that this is a serious thing and everyone has to stay inside their houses. It interrupted an episode of Masked Singer that I was watching.
Okay.
And it was the reveal. So it was the teddy bear dancing to I Like Big Butts.
Okay.
And singing I Like Big Butts.
Sure.
And the teddy bear got unmasked, and it was none other than Sarah Palin.
No way.
And
That's right.
As the credits were rolling, Sarah Palin was singing unmasked. She was singing I Like Big Butts. That got cut off by an address from President Trump saying everyone stay in your homes. And I was like,
Yeah.
Th-
So,
This
the
is
simulation theory, dude.
yeah.
You can't write a better skit.
You can't.
Like
It was the worst night of my life.
the the controversial running mate of John McCain, who's basically lambasted for being a bit of a dummy.
Hmm.
Years later, like she skipped cameo, went straight to the Masked Singer.
I think she might be on Cameo though.
Probably now. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's starting to get some steam again, actually. She's in the political discussion again. Not for like anything good, but she's a
Yeah.
pundit now.
All you got to do is get on Twitter.
Tell you, man.
That's what they
This is
got.
gonna get me canceled, but like OnlyFans will work. And I'm not saying that in like a sexual way, but like if Sarah Palin got an OnlyFans, she would make $20 million.
It would make the rounds for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Or even if she just got on Twitch and started streaming games.
True, true. Like Sarah Palin saying someone's sus in Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is like probably, I mean, it is our problem, right? Like that's how Trump works, right? Like we want to see celebrities doing shit. They're like, they're just like me.
Exactly.
Look at this is a bad example because I like Lizzo. It was like, it's Lizzo playing the flute. I did that when I was in middle school, right? Like it's like we want to see Sarah Palin singing Sir Mix-a-Lot on national television, clearly.
And it is just like the way I would look singing that on national television.
Yeah.
She had a very relatable tone there.
I actually saw that one weirdly. Maybe it was like a rerun, but I saw her as the teddy bear. I saw like the Sean Spicer Mambo outfit. That was sad. And I guess the latest kind of like resistance left hero, Claudia Conway, is on American Idol now, apparently.
Is that that's
Like Kellyanne's
Leanne's
daughter. Yeah.
TikTok star?
Yeah. She's like kind of like a free Britney light,
Is she a good singer? Is she a
Apparently
contestant?
she's a good singer. I didn't see the clip, but apparently she sang Adele and she wowed the judges. That's what the headline told me, so I believe it.
Who's even the judges anymore? Is it like Avril Lavigne, Machine Gun Kelly?
Machine Gun Kelly, Tim Curry, but like as a Zoom call. I think Simon's still there.
Really?
I think he is. I think
Wow.
he is. I want to say like, I know at one point they had Nicki Minaj, but that's over. I think J-Lo was there at some point. I don't know. I would love to see Paul Abdul come back.
Lionel Richie was there too for a
That's right. That's right. Man, that is.
Now Paula Abdul is on The Masked Dancer.
Oh, really?
As
That's
a
cool.
judge, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but like, what was the thing where the person fell off the ring or something like that?
Did someone fall?
I thought so. That someone did some kind of suspended, like an aerial act, and they like fell.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
Fox was trying to get me to watch it. They were like, "It's coming!" I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, that's right. That's right. I hadn't seen the whole episode, but
Yeah.
I remember the teaser of them building up this moment of, did they fall? Are they okay? Can we get
Yeah.
a doctor?
Yeah, it's probably like when you watch it, it's like 10 seconds. Like I'm all right.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. It's like a little tiny trip.
Yeah, I actually was watching. I think like one of the debates or something like that at some bar because I'm an animal and I went out during the pandemic. And
You monster.
I know. It was me and a bat. Like we were just hanging out, spreading the bad news. Like we watched like one of the debates. I think it might have been the vice president debate, and then the Masked Singer was on after that, and it was like me, Liam, and like Dan Farley were just kind of sitting there like, look at this bullshit, like being a bunch of tough bros. And then by the end of the episode, we're like, oh my god, like,
Yeah.
it's very good.
I don't know what they do. Well, now the audience is fake.
Okay.
But when they filmed the real episodes, I don't know what they were doing to the audience to hype them up that much. But it was like they gave the entire audience Molly. Because
Yeah.
they were freaking out over these D-list celebrities that there's no way they knew who these people were. And even if they did, that would be so excited to see them.
Right. I remember like, yeah, I was watching it and exactly, it was like D-list. I was like, who is this person? Like,
And everyone's like, oh my god!
fucking speed skiing coach of the
Exactly.
of fucking, I don't know, some person I never heard of.
Or like
Like,
the son of that coach
yeah,
who does
yeah,
even less. Like,
exactly. Fucking a person that was the alternate for Simone Biles in the
yeah,
gymnastics.
the stunt double of
Yeah,
Will Smith and Hitch.
yeah. Will Smith and Gemini, man. Which Will Smith though? Like,
This is
I,
what was the superhero one?
Hancock,
Hitchcock. Hancock.
Hancock. Yeah, yeah. That was something that actually could have worked. They kind of pulled back. Like,
I enjoyed it.
yeah, I like the
I
part where
remember
he was
seeing
kind
it.
of like, I don't care, and I'm like drinking and stuff like that. Like that part was cool.
Yeah.
Then they tried to like make it a movie, and I was like, wait, go back to that part. It's like I don't need this guy to save the day. I want to see him like, trip on like the third rail and be all right. Like,
yeah, yeah.
but
Just like Jackass, but with a superhero.
I think that's when you know you've made it, when you can like act against yourself. Like the greats have done it. Like Will Smith has done it. Um, I'm assuming Lindsay Lohan has certainly done it several times. Like if the trailer can be like Reggie Parker and Reggie Parker are
Yeah.
the last dude left.
Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy.
and Eddie Murphy. Yeah, like the clumps.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's the last movie you saw?
In the theaters or just in
Hmm.
general? Because last night I watched Valentine's Day,
Really? Wow.
and it's still good. It's a delight.
Hmm. That's interesting. What? Oh, that's one of those. We got like 20 celebrities.
20 celebrities, 10
20 celebrity rom
plots.
com.
Yeah, exactly.
Valentine's Day, New Year's.
Yeah, and I don't remember the other one, but there was one more.
I think it was Kwanzaa. I think that was the. Oh man, something kind of like that. The the best man, like the series, like was the best man. Then they did the best man holiday. They're doing that again as a limited run series. Like every black actor that was famous in 1997 reprising their role from this series.
I'm about every single reboot though.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'd
I'm
love my
just
other podcast.
let's
Well,
just
actually,
do it all
yeah,
again, you know?
yeah. Well, they're doing Short Circuit again.
Are they?
Yeah. They're doing Short Circuit again. I'm sure it'll be a little less racist.
iCarly is coming back.
Yo, that's awesome, dude. I remember they rebooted That's So Raven. It's like Raven's Home.
Raven's Home.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I love reboots.
Yeah.
We all know this.
Disney might have the best writers in Hollywood. Low key. Like no adult is paying attention to how crisp these 30 season series are.
Yeah, I have to think that also like Disney and Pixar must have some sort of psychologist help figuring out how to make us cry because they're so great at making the universal population cry in a
Yeah.
movie at
Yeah.
the same exact point,
Like
and they don't do that without knowing the human brain.
right. Like some mad scientist is just back like, all right, we're gonna
Yeah,
kill the wife. It's like
yeah,
it's 5 minutes
exactly.
into a children's movie.
You gotta make them cry.
I watched Soul and I was like, I think I'm crying. There was a
Yeah,
point where I was like, these are tears.
it's without fail. They
Yeah.
any movie that they put out, there's gonna be a second where I'm crying.
Yeah. Like I think I cried when like Tina Fey was just like was a ghost. Like I love the concept of like Casper butt, like that thing where like you don't have legs, you just
Yeah.
that smooth under part of a ghost. Like that makes me cry.
Casper, I'd watch a reboot of.
Oh, I would totally watch a reboot of Casper. I actually weirdly watched Casper recently, but I actually have a tattoo of King Boo
Oh shit.
that I got in Barcelona, Spain during my honeymoon because of course you did that.
You have a fascinating life.
Yeah, I think that I just like we were talking about leaning in. I think I just lean into like random shit
Yeah.
because I think the same thing about you, by the way, which is why I'm glad you're on this podcast. I'm sitting there like listening to your music on Bandcamp. I'm like, huh. It's like I do like that song by College or whatever it is.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I've never seen Drive before.
Mm.
I only know that song because Melissa, our friend Melissa,
Oh yeah, listen.
put that on a playlist that she posted, and I heard that song and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, yeah.
So good.
So I watched when I saw Drive, I saw it in theaters, and I was on a bad like double date. Like my friend DJ was like, I'm dating this girl, but her sister wants to like go out. Like you should go out on this date, and we're watching Drive, and not this is going to be rude, but I'm going to say it anyway. In terms of like the genre, it just wasn't their movie, right? Like they were sitting there like it's almost a silent film, and besides the soundtrack, which is fantastic, and I just sat there, I was like, I loved it. I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've seen this year. Like this is awesome. It's like James Dean vibes. Gosling is just
Right.
like playing this like kind of a tough but a sensitive. And there's like gory parts, but like it's very visually appealing. And then I just remember like afterwards we're at like Dave and Buster's or something. They're like, that movie sucked. And I was just like, I love it. But like when that song comes on in the movie, it's just like, yeah, this is it.
Was it made for that movie?
I don't probably not, but like like a good movie will pick like a sick soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like
For
500
sure.
Days of Summer. Like it's
Nick
like
and
this.
Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Actually, Superfly, because I watched it for remake podcast. Like that 1972 soundtrack by Curtis Mayfield is just like, yeah, it's badass.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, you do. Sick bass lines in it, man.
I love the bass.
Nice, nice. I got like this acoustic guitar, but like the barrier to entry is hard. I think I'm just gonna get like an electric guitar so it's easier to play.
Yeah, electric is easier.
So I can just be shitty at guitar but think I'm getting good at it.
And it's quiet if you're not plugged in, so it's not like you're sucking loudly. It's
Yeah,
really hard to start playing guitar.
it is. Like I hit like a moment where it's like, okay, I got a D chord, and I got a G chord, let's go, and then I just plateaued and like
Is it what is it? Is it the switching or is
it's
it
the
just
switching.
like yeah, yeah.
It's the switching. Yeah. I've got like these are like claws basically. This is my resting hand from years of like wrestling. Like I guess
Wrestling?
most people are like this, right? Like at comfort, I'm just like this.
You wrestled in school?
Yeah, I wrestled in middle school, high school. I wrestled for Rutgers for 2 years. I was
Whoa.
yeah. My life is fascinating. I was a Division I college athlete for 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When? When did you go
Um,
to college?
2006 through 2008, I was on the roster.
Uh-huh.
So the first year I went, talking about my buddy DJ, like I was already accepted to Rutgers, and I kind of was burned out from high school sports. I was like, I'm not going to wrestle in college. This was a great career. I'm done. I was technically a high school like All American, like I placed fifth at national preps. I was like, that was good enough. But my buddy wanted to go to the same college as me, so he like sent some of our tape up to the Rutgers coach. So he was trying to get in.
Uh-huh.
The coach was like, your GPA is not there. It's my buddy, but he's like, yours is, and like maybe we can get you a scholarship. So I got an academic scholarship, not a wrestling one. They helped me out with that. They just pointed me to a program like you should apply for this. So when I got there, I was like, all right, like I'm wrestling, and like the coach that was there the first year, he was good, but he wasn't like a tough coach. So like I could go out, like get hammered and like kind of like stitch it together for like practice. And my first year was like, okay, I had I don't know, like a 3-5 record or some bullshit like that. I was on the bench, so I just kind of like got the perks of being a D1 wrestler. And then the second year, we got like a really good coach. Like the reason Rutgers team is good now and like has people that have competed at the NCAA tournament is because this coach was good. And I was just sitting there like, I can't party anymore. But you're also
So
not paying me to be here. So like I stuck out the year and I was like, I quit. It's not a word that I was used to saying, but I was like, no, I quit. I don't want to do this
you were there
anymore.
for fun.
Yeah. So, I got back into like more, well, I took a year off of everything resembling athletics, which was a weird year because I was just like, And then I played a little bit of rugby before I left. Like
Oh, okay, your last year.
yeah, I played rugby the freshman year too, but I was like, well, rugby's fun and everyone like likes to drink and again at the time I was more of a partier than I am today. But yeah,
You were
that's
still kind of a partier though, at least
yeah, that's true.
pre-pandemic.
That's true.
I saw you at many karaoke nights.
Yeah, that's right, dude. I used to come in
I
there pretty
always saw
tuned
you
up
at
too.
karaoke. Yeah, and you crushed karaoke, and then we're like always trying to migrate it back to your house.
Yeah, yeah,
Although I haven't been yet.
yeah. Well, you know what? You'll get an invite. When the weather's nice, we'll do something in the backyard, like we'll grill or
Hell
something
yeah,
like that.
I would
But
love that.
I love it's the performer, man. Like I'm a hand, bro. I'm a showman, you know. But no, I think I remember you did karaoke there, and I can't remember the song off the top of my head. It's like I almost want to say it was like Meatloaf or something like that.
It could have been Meatloaf.
Like,
Paradise by the Dashboard
yeah, I
Light.
was gonna say something like that, and I was like, oh, Ian's up there getting it.
I love that's one of the things I miss most maybe.
Yeah,
Karaoke.
it might be the most dangerous thing you can do. It's like scream spittle into a mic
Yeah.
for I don't know 5 minutes straight in a closed environment.
Exactly. It couldn't be more canceled right now.
Yeah, yeah. Like other than that, like what are you doing for fun these days?
Um I work pretty insane hours during the week.
Mm,
Um and then Saturdays I try to get a cover out. Um I've been reading Dragon Ball Z
nice,
for the
nice.
first
Just
time.
like the manga.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I'm almost done. I am on volume 22. I don't know if you know Dragon Ball, but it's
I know Dragon Ball, yeah, like the young
okay.
Goku.
Okay, but you didn't
Hmm.
get into Z.
I no, I like I've watched the series of Z. I may have read more of the manga of just Dragon Ball. I don't think I want to read Dragon Ball Z. I think they just you want to talk about kind of jumping the shark. That series, it's good, but like it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that I have to stop after Z, and I shouldn't watch Super.
Yeah, Super is a little crazy. I forget. I think it was Dragon Ball Kai, or whichever one was like the abridged version of Z is probably the best one to watch
Okay,
because like they take
I'm pretty
filler
sad
out.
that I'm almost done with Z because I've been loving it. It's
Yeah,
the pacing is it's just so well written.
I'm gonna I'm gonna send you something when we're done. I bought these things. They're called Humble Bundles, and I bought one for Attack on Titan. I don't know if you've seen that series.
I haven't seen it now.
Okay, well, like the series is pretty badass. I think it's on its third season, but like I got the entire anthology. Like this is you'll see it here for like $20. So
Oh,
yeah,
and you read it on your phone?
yeah. I do a lot of reading on my phone. Like I do like paper, but I don't finish things in paper form.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I actually
definitely hear you.
joined a book club with some friends, so I've been reading a lot lately. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been trying to read too. There's just only so many things to do.
that's the
Um,
problem.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like you said, you're at radio, right? Like that has to be a crazy workload.
Yeah, it's all consuming. It's just like nothing. I can't do anything while I'm working. It's not like I can multitask and stuff.
Yeah, you're
So
like
once I get home at like midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever it is, it's
yeah,
go to sleep.
yeah, yeah. And I gotta check that out. Like, I would like for you to be the voice from like the movie The Warriors, just like, hey, Harlem, it's Ian here. There's some guys getting beat up next to that trash can. Well, here's Machine Gun Kelly for the fourth time.
there is some shouting in Harlem sometimes when I get back. Like there's this I was trying to go to sleep last week and I heard a guy like screaming. It sounded like he was screaming for his life and I was like I got to go take a look.
Yeah,
And it's always weird when you go look at stuff that's happening outside because everyone is also looking.
right.
So all of your neighbors are all like looking at each other and looking down. But this guy was on the phone, I guess fighting with it sounded like he was fighting with his girlfriend, but like
Hmm.
loudly and like screaming, and then he started like claiming that his arm was broken.
Okay.
I guess it must have been like an attempt for like sympathy or something, but his arm
Sure.
clearly wasn't broken.
Right.
But he was a really good voice actor because if I wasn't looking, it was intense.
And
There's some crazy moments like that in Harlem.
yeah, then you yelled out like, "You should voice act for Dragon Ball Z."
Yeah, I was like, am I hearing Vegeta?
Kakarot. Yeah. I've never seen a character been done dirtier than Vegeta. It's like I'm I'm the best, and it's like, nope, you were second fiddle until the end of time, bro.
And he will not take it.
No,
I don't know what's gonna happen, but um, Goku is dead right now.
which time? I guess is my question.
So Goku died in the Cell Saga.
Okay, you're in the Cell Saga. Okay, nice.
I'm after the Cell Saga. So right now they are.
So Perfect Cell, Gohan.
I haven't met Boo yet, so I'm about to meet Boo.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's so absurd about that, to your point about Boo, is that like that's so soon after Cell. Like it's not even like
amazing. I was teared up in the Cell Saga.
Yeah.
When Goku died, it was just
the father-son moment.
First time, yeah, the father-son moment.
Yeah.
It was the first time the series got like emotional, and then like right after that, it gives you this short little high school drama.
Yeah.
Gohan in high school, and I was like, this is exactly what I needed after all that.
Like,
I just needed a dumb high school.
Say a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like Goku's fit during that series, like that outfit would work hardcore, like the little like the head wrap and everything, the sunglasses. I'm like, this guy's an influencer.
Yeah.
I was because I'm in a book club, and like the premise of it is like we drink scotch and stuff like that and talk about not talk about the book. And at one point during the conversation, like randomly, because the book was about like fungus and like how they're entangled in our life. It's like the book is called Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake, which like, all right, sure, that's your real name. But since they were talking about mutations, we started talking about X-Men. And I got to one point where I was like, did anyone have a better fucking outfit than Magneto? like the purple, the cape, like just serving, bro. Like,
yeah,
he would do well in Harlem.
Nice to see that like even the most evil people have like, well, I also want to look cool. You know?
Yeah, right. It's like, well, I want to do evil, but like I gotta come correct.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like Dragon Ball for a time was sort of doing that. People were coming out with some swag, you know, but then everyone just kind of became monsters. Like, so it was just like,
yeah,
like basically a cicada.
I mean, Goku was like, I don't really care about looking cool. I'm just gonna wear like 10 tons of weights while fighting so that I could be stronger when the weights are off.
For that series to go from like, oh, my boots are kind of heavy and now I'm faster, to being like, I can instantly transmit to another place if you know. It's like, all right. Honestly,
what's the connection of mushrooms, like fungus and people?
A lot, actually. Like so really the most of the connection is that they talk about in the book is like plant life, and how like in the primordial soup, to make the transition from from water to land, like fungus acted as sort of like a root system before plants had like roots. And there's like a lot of symbiosis with a lot of things in fungus. Like for instance, if you were outside like looking at a tree, how far those roots are connected, how that's connected to different flowers and stuff like that, how fungus like interact with those things. Like it's kind of about that.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then like they even talked about these mushrooms called lichens, Lichen, and they're basically like the one thing that like could survive in space. And there's like theory that there's theory that like lichens could have come through like meteorites and stuff like that and seeded the planet. I don't know. It's I didn't read the book that hard. Like we drink scotch, but
yeah.
But, you know.
Have you ever heard of panspermia?
I have Panspermia. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of
they
the theory that we came from Mars.
yeah they brought that up in the book too. Actually,
It's
yeah,
probably similar, yeah, with the lichens.
Panspermia, Pangea, all the pans. I don't know, like talking about that, like the authority that I just like threw out, like oh yeah, I like browsed the book and now I'm gonna explain the the origin of the universe, right? Like I think that's how we got to like QAnon levels of shit, which is
Yeah.
like um the most recent theory is that Trump's gonna get what's it called, sworn in on like March 4th. Like dead ass.
I read the one that was like actually this is what you're seeing is Trump being inaugurated on inauguration day.
Uh,
And they underwent an experimental face
yeah, the
surgery.
face off theory.
So Biden is going to jail and Trump is getting sworn in.
Yeah.
So sad.
I mean, that idea just shows you how ridiculous the premise of face off is, where it's like, all right, like if me and you change faces, it's like, wait, we have different builds.
It's not gonna look right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Like you can't take Trump and Biden and like it doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
But
Maybe a face filter on Snapchat.
yeah. Well, speaking of Dragon Ball Z, maybe like a fusion, you know, it's like a
Yeah, exactly. Or like who's the pig character?
oh, Oolong maybe? Oolong?
Oolong. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He shapeshifted into Bulma and was all like pudgy, and Bulma was upset.
Yeah. Speaking of that, one of my favorite again, talking about loving a bit in Pokemon, whenever Ditto pretends to be someone, but he still has Ditto eyes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that's how my brain works. Like, I think my brain is like, oh, is that a smart person's idea? Like, let's do it. Let's make a facsimile. Oh man, this is good. I wasn't expecting anime talk today. I like it.
I've been heavy into that. I mean, this is the first time I've ever read any anime.
Yeah,
I used to watch Bleach.
nice, nice. Well, you picked a good kind of like series to start. Like, it's popular. It's forever going to be in our zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll be able to get so many references to over 9,000 and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's also super Western. Like
Yeah, it's Western as
for a
fuck.
manga, it's
Yeah.
just awash with Western references. There's like where Wizard of Oz references.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a like series that you can just kind of like breeze through. You know, you don't have to worry too much about continuity or anything like that. Like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pacing's really good.
But Bleach was that was a good one. I like
The only thing that like really drew me to it, to be frank, is that it was the first show transitioning from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim. So it would just be on when I'm ready to watch Adult Swim as a kid.
Yeah, Toonami hour.
My entry into what was it, home movies, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, we're like I was saying, like Renaissance and all that stuff earlier, like with TikTok and all that stuff. That weeb like anime culture is like hot in the streets right now, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just like all over Twitter, all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Although I don't love the TikTok face thing. What's the
that like filter glossy like
No, it's the face that some of the TikTok stars made.
oh, I don't know the exact how to pronounce it. It was like I think it's like a Hago or something like that. Like it's that like oh like that like O face kind of thing.
It makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's awkward. Yeah, no, you should be uncomfortable. It's not good. I don't know, like I know TikTok has some origins in like you know, like the Chinese government and stuff like that. So I guess we should be worried about that. But I don't know. They brought back sea shanties. Like
yeah, and I think there's truly no point in fighting technology.
No, there's not at this point.
We've tried it. Like Metallica tried it with Napster, and look what's happened now. Like
yeah.
everything is free music wise. So
Yeah, weirdly enough, I guess that's connected. What was the Metallica album we got after 10 years? Wasn't that Chinese Democracy, right?
Oh, that's a Guns N'
Oh, that's
Roses.
Guns N' Roses? Okay.
Yeah, Chinese
Yeah,
Democracy.
yeah.
A
Now the
very
Metallica thing, what was that guy? Lars, right? He was being like a dick about
the
it.
drummer. Yeah, they're all just very like copyrighty,
Yeah,
but you can't fight the technology. Like it's gonna take over if it makes consumers' lives more convenient.
yeah,
So it's like you're just gonna look like assholes in the end.
yeah, pretty much. I think like of course like the music industry is still like very inequitable, but I think there's more of an on ramp for like indie artists and stuff like that than there was when Metallica was running around.
Yeah,
You know?
there's like definitely a lot more like abilities. Like
Hmm.
anyone can make a song now.
Yeah,
Um, but with that, it's also super oversaturated, and there's the same problem of payola that there
right,
is with the radio with Spotify, where like you could tell which artists are best friends with Spotify and which ones aren't, and that
right.
directly affects who you hear, which is a problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, I always think about like kind of like that, like from the last episode with Sage, like I was talking about like organic thought, and it's like, do you like this song or did they make you like this song? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I
'Cause,
always wonder that.
yeah, like I, don't- I don't know if you saw this. There's this artist. Apparently their rap name is like Humpback Chunk, and they went like slightly viral for this song. The song's called "Bitchy Mood," but like Black Twitter basically like keyed in on there's a line where this artist she says I just nutted and it's like like everyone went crazy and this person went viral and I'm just like all right, you know, like I know nobody paid money for that to get into my head. I just
Right. Exactly.
somebody was
Where do
like
you go
smoking
from
in
there
a YouTube
also?
K-hole.
Yeah, yeah. Do
Yeah.
you know who Bia Badoobie is?
Nah, actually.
She's like she's like an indie musician,
Hmm.
and she wrote this song called Coffee,
Okay.
and it was a really good hook, and someone took that chorus
Hmm.
and sped it up and put it on TikTok, and then a rapper made a rap over it,
Okay.
and that song, the rap
The
version of it,
yeah.
went viral and is huge, and even the radio station I work for plays it all the time.
Yeah.
And Bia Badoobie just like didn't really
What?
have any buzz on her song Coffee, which I felt bad. She's now dropped an album and is super successful, but
That's
that's
good.
like the first instance of like you went big on TikTok and like didn't even have a choice.
Yeah. What I probably know it from the meme. Like, what does the book chorus like entail?
It's like don't go away for
Oh yeah,
too long, go to
yeah,
bed.
yeah. I feel like I saw it in like a Subaru commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's super huge now.
it's a great song.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's always been the thing though. Like a rapper just comes, they slap their shit on your shit. Now they're famous, you're not. Uh, Tracy Chapman sues you 30 years later. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a cycle of life.
I like both songs though, so I hope no one sues anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I was gonna ask you because I saw you've been doing music. Like, I need like not like a theme song for this podcast, but like I would love a
Oh,
Frasier style like bass riff, like a
I could
Seinfeld.
throw something together for you.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would compensate you for your work too. Like like a 20-second hit, and just like you know some.
Like
Yeah,
a welcome back kind of
yeah,
song.
yeah. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah, that'd be cool. Cause like
I hear like saxophone when I think of how your show would be presented.
if that would be cool. Like if your interpretation of what you think I would play
It's
as an
definitely
intro.
saxophone, yeah.
All right, yeah, man. I would like I would really appreciate it. Like again, no pressure, but I appreciate if you put something yeah, and like nothing, I don't want you working too hard, man. I'm talking like
Oh no, I'm quitting my job. We're gonna get this right.
yeah. Like there's this political show I watch on YouTube called The Hill Rising. And every clip, like every clip comes in and like it's this like guitar was like and it's like my Pre's like that fucking show's on again because like they're like 5 minute clips, so like the next clip's like
Yeah, yeah.
I want to make people annoyed. That's my goal.
We got to get you an iconic
Yeah,
stinger.
yeah, yeah. There you go, Stinger. That's that radio lingo. Yeah,
There, there. Yeah.
but oh man, that's cool. Fucking anime, payola. What can't we talk about?
I got a take on everything.
Yeah, yeah. Trying, trying to think about like just I don't know this whole pandemic thing. I want to like write something, right? But like I don't know what yet. I'm like,
Yeah, it's hard. When
yeah,
I was doing the first live stream show at Alum Witch,
mm-hmm.
that I was hoping was going to become a regular thing. I'm not going to do it again because it's
Yeah,
just not.
lot of work, right?
It's just not. It's high effort, low
Yeah,
yield.
yeah.
But I asked a lot of comedians to do it, and you gracefully agreed. But most people I asked said, "I'm not really doing comedy anymore. I'm
I
kind of in the woods."
I think that's happening because like I did notice for myself like a shift where um one of my fears, right, was and it's not a bad fear, it's kind of like a good thing. It's like, am I gonna get too successful in corporate America to like continue my dream of being an artist?
Mm,
And like when the pandemic happened, I was like, well, I'm not doing a lot of stand-up right now, but I'm finding I'm interested in these other things. I mean, like even this podcast is an example. It's like, this is fine. Um,
yeah,
I'm definitely not like quitting comedy because like someone hit me up to do a show recently and I was like, I don't want to do this one because it's indoors, but I want to do one soon, kind of. And it's like,
yeah.
but you're right. I think a lot of people are going to end up kind of quitting, you know?
Yeah, well, it's also like right now, what do you write about? Usually you write about like social experiences and
Yeah,
like things happening. And right now, we don't talk in person anymore. So it's like, what are you supposed to write about?
yeah. And like the Zoom thing doesn't really work for me, you know? Just you, comedy, there's a rhythm and there's like the laughs are in the room, you know? Like,
It's so important. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that I forget the artists that you had on, but I think they were from forgive me if I'm wrong, like Vietnam or something like that. But like that one comic you had on was
Oh,
so good.
Malaysia. Yeah, Juliana Hang. She found. I used to do a virtual open mic
Hmm.
over the summer, and I don't know. She's like a running gunner. She does hundreds of like. She does like 10 shows a day.
Yeah,
She'll
really
just go into the live streams, really taking advantage of the COVID of it all.
smart.
Um, and she has this 5 minutes that is just like
I,
airtight. And she did it on the open mic, and I was like, this is
that that was some of the best work that I've seen in this environment.
yeah,
Like that is like you mentioned, it was a tight set. Um, Knew exactly where to pause, knew exactly where to pick it back up without feedback, and I'm just like, that is fucking hard to do, man. That
yeah.
is,
Could do it underwater with her eyes open. She knows
yeah,
it so well, and it's
yeah,
written like clearly written in quarantine. So it's like the first I've heard of a comedy bit that I like from this era.
yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah, because I don't know, even like watching like professional comics right now, even like their shit feels like watered down. I'm like, man, you guys are struggling too. Like everybody is simultaneously struggling.
Yeah, it's weird to see everyone brought down to their knees.
Yeah. I think I think it was Colin Quinn or something. He had something on HBO that was basically like drive-in kind of comedy set, and it's like Rich Voss and all these other people. And somebody goes up and kind of like they don't even bomb, but like by their standards they do, and then the energy in the entire place is just like, oh fuck, and it's just like all these great, amazing comics just being like, I'm about to get destroyed, and it's just like this feels familiar.
Yeah, it's kind of
I've been
nice
in
to
that green
see.
room. Yeah, man, but I don't know, like you said a line, and I was like, that's funny. Like you said, the COVID of it all, and I was just like, maybe that's what I'm gonna write. The COVID of it all.
Yeah, yeah, it's a new term,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
COVID of it all.
Like I bought like an e-reader. Like I said, I read a lot digitally now, and because I'm a capitalist, I got the one with advertisements, so I didn't have to pay as much. And like the shit that they're trying to sell me, it's like a divorcee goes to a small Rhode Island town, meets love with a man with like 3 kids, and I'm just like, what? I'm a 33-year-old black guy. What is this? What's happening? Or like like SEAL Team 6 dude sweeps some lady off her feet and they escape to Kosovo. I'm like, I don't know why they think I want to read these romance novels, but I do.
Have you?
um,
I
I
wonder
started
how it's written.
I started reading something. It wasn't one of those, but like when the ads came up and I showed it to Pri, I was like, this is ridiculous. And but it was free. So I was like, look at this. And I like it, yeah, I did start reading one. I was like,
What was the thing?
I'll look it up. It was let me see. It's called Reckless. Hold up. Let me see if I can get back to that album cover. It's called Reckless Reunion. And I'm trying to read this backwards
That
by
John Stamos?
I don't know, right? The Reckless Rockstar series. That's right. He's a rock star, and she's like a groupie's not a nice word, but that's what she is. um,
Okay.
um,
Is he like a country star? He looks a little country.
I think it is like a country thing, right? Like some like I mean, A Star Is Born is basically that, right? Like,
That is a Star is Born. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
no, I guess I'm forgetting how they meet. I don't think it's like at a concert. I think he discovers her playing at a bar.
yeah, she's at like a bar. You know, it's our that's why we do karaoke, right? It's our dream. Like we're downstairs doing uh Paradise
He's
by a
just
Dashboard Light,
playing.
and then
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's Conway Twitty. No, he's not. I'm trying to think of someone famous now. Oh my god, it's Adele, and like now I'm on tour with Adele, and all
That'd
my
be cool.
dreams come true. Um, I don't even know where I got off the rails on that combo, but it happened. There is something, and I gotta show you this.
Is it an excerpt from the book?
Nah, there's another series um where like this guy writes these books, but there's like they're romance novels, but like it'll be like a T-Rex in a boardroom, basically. Hold up, T-Rex. Okay, so there's an artist named his pen name is Chuck Tingle, and his his books are out of control. Hold up, this is so. All right, here's one. Gay T-Rex law firm gave me a boner, basically, and it's
Oh
just like
man.
it's like that pounded in the butt by the handsome Twitch stream, like um pounded in the butt by Area 51 while attempting to storm it. Like as a person that loves a good bit, right? Like
Oh man. I that Area 51 thing was one of my favorite online things ever.
that was a cross section of anime and the real
Yeah.
world.
Because you had Naruto runners
Yeah,
at the
Naruto
front
running.
lines.
People went.
Yeah.
People actually went, man. You know.
People went to party.
Yeah,
And then there was like a fake news story circulating that someone died.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It never happened.
No, no.
But like, it's funny how like that event we're all like, yeah, that was fun, and then like January 6th happens, like, let's not do that.
Yeah, true. I
But it's
completely
like, it's all about the culture, right? Like a bunch of weebs want to go to Area 51, like no harm, no foul, but a bunch of patriots want to storm the Capitol. Uh, you know that there is a problem there.
Yeah, I think Area 51 maybe it wasn't for some people, but for me it was a total joke. Like of course it's not going to
Totally.
work, but it's so funny to pretend like it would.
Right, right. That was the funniest part of it. That like, there's no way you're going to be able to storm Area 51 like that.
Right.
Preposterous. Um, but like, I don't know that sort of sense of community that came out of it because like I had no intention of going to Area 51, but like I was following it, like Wall Street Bets is a good example. Like I'm on Reddit and I'm actually was a member of Wall Street Bets like a year ago because like I work in finance and some guy was like, you gotta check this out. And I was like, this is hilarious. And then
Right.
like a year later, I'm like watching GameStop and go like, I'm like, what was
Did you
that?
get in on it at all?
Oh no. That was absurd. I didn't want any part of that action.
Yeah, yeah.
It it's one of those stories where like the reality of the situation is fascinating, but like the narrative that came out of it is like it's like partially true, but it's also like what people wanted out of it.
Right.
Like when Robin Hood stopped letting people trade and they were like, oh my God, the government stepped in. It's like the government doesn't move that fast. The government doesn't stop people from storming the Capitol that fast. It's not
Right.
like it's like no, don't sue me, but Robin Hood, I believe, my guess theory allegedly is that they probably didn't have enough money to keep taking those trades.
Yeah, they were like, what the fuck?
They're like,
Yeah, that's true. They bit off more than they could chew.
yeah, and they were like, you can't buy it for reasons, and they're like, what?
For your
Yeah,
protection, for
yeah.
your safety.
And then the next day they borrowed a bunch of money and were like, you can buy one stonk.
Oh
One
man.
stonk. That was that was such a weird moment in time. Like again, going back to like the Area 51 thing, it's like it's a meme, but it became real.
I
You
mean,
know?
even Trump's presidency was that.
Yeah. No, you're
Even
100% right.
r slash the Donalds and 4chan and shit like that. Really, I mean, 4chan is still where Q lives, I believe,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so.
so memes are really, really powerful.
Yeah. Like I've always thought about again as like comments and I think you'll get this. Like I've always thought about the language of memes, how like they transcend written language. Like sometimes memes do have writing, but like this thing is funny in Poland the same way it's funny here, the same way it's funny in Laos, like I
Yeah,
just think that like that new emerging language that we're all kind of like creating and learning real time is fascinating to me.
yeah. It's almost like telepathic because like you're not when you're showing someone a meme that says nothing, you're not like having them read something and then they laugh and you know that's why they're laughing, but you're
Right,
both laughing at an image that you
right.
both
Like,
know why you're laughing but can't articulate it.
right. Like a good one is the cat in front of the plate. Like with the woman like, yeah, like
Yeah.
what is that? Right. But it's like
Right.
as soon as you see it, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then
Yeah.
like you can join in on the fun and just like make the meme reference when like something happens. It's just like I don't know. You're right. It is like telepathic almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this one meme that my friend sent me last week that was super pixelated, like very, very low resolution. You couldn't read anything. It was
Okay.
that blurry, but you saw that words were there.
Okay.
And then there was like a laughing Daffy Duck that you could kind of make out through the blur.
Sure.
And it made me laugh so hard because I don't know why. It's just, it's so fried and so blurry
Yeah.
that it clearly said something. I don't know.
I
It's
I remember when Franco had his the Jester Comedy House, right?
hell yeah.
That was a good time. Going too soon. We were doing some like podcast there, and they had like they had hired like an intern. I was like, "You guys have an intern for your comedy club thing?" I was like, "This is
Right.
cool." And obviously being like my age, is like I'm not old, but I'm not young, right? And I was talking about memes, kind of like we are now, and I like went to like look one up or something. And she was like, this intern is like a Rutgers student, she's like 19, maybe 20 years old. Is like, bro, did you just Google a meme, bro? And I was like, I guess I did. That is embarrassing. Like, I don't know. There's something very uncool about hitting a certain age, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I was an RA in college,
Mhm.
and when we had like floor meetings or whatever, uh, the people making the posters would do like condescending Wonka
Okay, yeah.
and use it completely incorrectly. Like, did you know, like Wonka like this, and it just says, "Did you know that there's a floor meeting?"
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
like that's not a condescending Wonka meme. You just
yeah,
use that to like
yeah, yeah. It's
parody.
like a condescending, like Wonka me is like, yeah, tell me about your startup. You know, like
Right,
that's
right.
better than hey, there's a floor being. It's like, no, you just took an image.
And
Um,
even if it was used correctly, condescending Wonka was like 2009,
right,
so long ago.
right. It's like, yeah, that's over, bro. I find that like because everyone has like their memes, and I think TikTok has like streamlined memery so well. I think that is how like the sea shanty became like a hot song again. But it's
Hmm.
like there's like frog talk, there's witch talk, you know, all this stuff, and just like the specifics of fandom is cool to me. Like every time I see like a boomer meme or like a Trump meme, I'm just like, this isn't no,
Yeah,
this doesn't work.
yeah. It's made for like two completely different reasons.
Yeah,
It's like those boomer memes are made so that you agree with them and relate to them, whereas
right.
TikTok is like just to make you laugh. My favorite TikTok ever is a little snippet of that song that's like, "Hey, hey,
Yeah.
what
What
you?"
is it?
But they cut off at what,
Right.
so it goes, "Hey, hey, what?" And it's like me waking up in the Titanic, and it's like him sleeping, and then a
Yeah.
fish goes, "Hey,"
Yeah.
and then he goes,
That,
"What?"
I like that.
Um,
Um, that song, I forget the original artist, but like, it's like a popular like '90s song, like the How Bizarre. It's like How Bizarre, How
how
Bizarre. Like
bizarre.
that came back as a TikTok meme, kind of. You know,
I like it. People call it unoriginal, but I completely disagree.
I completely disagree as well. Like to take something that like out of the zeitgeist and bring it back and like make it new for people that
Yeah.
like had no frame of reference for that sound. There's something to it.
I get like accepting that you're too old to understand it. I'm pretty much there. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
on
pretty close.
TikTok
Yeah,
because I like some of the stuff that I see, but I don't think that I should be in that. I just don't think it's made for me.
yeah. That was
Um
like when Vine came out. I was like, I like this. I can't do this. You
yeah. Yeah.
know, it's like that's clearly I'm not the right person for this.
Wait, is Biden on TikTok?
I don't know. I bet he is. I bet
Oh
someone is
man.
smart enough to put him on TikTok. You know, at least the White House or
That's
something like that.
yeah. That's probably a very depressing account.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? Talking about like the boomer memes and stuff like that, and like you were saying, they're trying to convince you. It's not coming from a fun place, right? And it's like that's why they don't work for me. It's like, oh yeah, well that's kind of like the time Obama deported a bunch of kids. Like, yeah, I guess it's like that, but I want to
Yeah.
think about that. I want to think about SpongeBob acting like a chicken. You know, that's
Yeah, exactly. It's like made with anger
yeah,
and like super aggressive.
yeah, and you know, going back to sort of the Capitol riot versus like Area 51. Area 51 was not an angry thing. No one was mad that the aliens were being kept from us. It was just like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that'd be funny if there were aliens. Like, what if these nerds could like like a bunch of like Bleach and Naruto fans like taking out a bunch of Area 51 guys is so preposterous. It's just it's a funny thought, you know?
Yeah, I love thinking about it. And then yeah, the Capitol
Like, yeah,
riot.
like that's a bit that's like it's not funny, you know? Like
Not a bit. That's
it's like
literally marching orders from
yeah.
a fucking potato.
What's interesting now is like and you can't fix everyone because like, you know, it is what it is. Like I think that people are in their camps and it's gonna be hard to pull people away from them, kind of. You know, myself included, like obviously like I'm more or less pretty liberal. So it's like, you know, you couldn't really convince me to go like pull a lever for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll acknowledge the you know the few decent things the guy did when he was there. I think the bad certainly outweighs it. Like this kind of like mass trauma that we all went through.
Yeah, yeah,
Even his supporters, like that was not good for anyone's psyche, you know.
yeah. My
Um,
my my mom is like a pretty heavy Trump supporter. She lives in
yeah,
Florida. That's
that
pretty much
that yeah
why.
that that tracks.
Um, yeah, and it was frustrating. I fought with her for 4 years about it. It came up
Mhm.
every single time we talked. Um, and then it's just like there's nothing I could do.
Yeah,
You're saying that it's a stolen election. I can't. There's nothing I could say.
nah,
So I've stopped talking about it, and I told her that not that I didn't tell her that I don't want to talk about it because that's not true,
right.
but I did tell her to kind of get her off my back that I don't like Biden either. What I really want is I want the country to end, which there is some truth to.
Sure, sure.
Um, but because I think that this country is a failed experiment.
It seems like we're tracking that way. Like I was talking to some friends yesterday, and I actually with that book club, and one of my friends, she has a similar situation. Like she's Jewish and Cuban. Her family lives in Florida. They're Trump supporters and stuff like that. Um, and same thing. Like they could talk. You could talk to your blue in the face. Like nothing's gonna change. And I was sitting there, like again, talking about like the events of the sixth. We we may have already failed, right? Like this may already be a failed state. You don't know it as it's happening. Like people didn't know this was the fall of Rome, right?
Right.
When Rome was falling, but it was over, right? It's like I'm trying to think of an example. It's like it's almost like a football game, right? Like, oh, yeah, the Patriots, they got 14 points. Like you can come back. It's only 14 points, and then the score keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's like, oh, we were never in that game, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But we're still playing because there's a whole other quarter left, even though
right,
it's a blowout. Yeah.
right. And to your point, like this is an experiment, right? No one has done a like a capitalist democracy in a two-party system sustained for this long, right? And like a lot of conservatives like to point at like socialism and stuff like that and say, look, socialism failed here, socialism failed there. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that happens. Um, empires rise and fall. And like, I would certainly hope that we're not at that point. But look, we have a major political party that like, where members of the party know the election wasn't stolen, but they don't care because it benefits them to keep saying it was stolen,
Yeah.
even as that means that like your supporters will hang you, right? Like,
Yeah. Like
they,
this is
like
like hang Mike Pence signs, and
it,
he's still
it's like
ride or die.
I get their Trump supporters, and like honestly, I don't even like framing the Capitol rioters as Trump supporters. I mean, many of them were. I mean, obviously, by definition, they were Trump supporters, right? Like,
Yes.
you maybe you could point to three or four like leftists, but it's like if you got
Libertarians.
if you got 20,000 Trump supporters and five leftists, this is not like a, it's not a bipartisan event, right?
Right.
Um, but I say that to say that like the people that would storm the Capitol, they're not like they're not for you. They're anti-government. They want the government replaced with maybe Trump, maybe something else. But like they don't want a system where another party could take control like this.
Yeah.
So, that is the majority position of the only other viable political party in this country. That's you're right. We may have failed actually.
Yeah. And it could be a reckoning that's even to come of like Trump actually starting an America First party
Mm-hmm.
where now those people aren't like in a place where they're between parties. They have one.
Right.
They have an army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the start of something kind of spooky.
It potentially is, man. I mean, we are quite literally navigating this timeline. I mean, there's a couple ways this thing breaks, and I again, my political theory is more kind of like in a traditionalist setting where like I basically think that like given Trump's legal issues and like his lack of, in my opinion, viability in a general election at this point. He's still, like you mentioned, he has his own army basically. They are willing to fundraise anything that he decides he wants to do. Um, so like I think he kind of just fucks over the Republican Party, like takes a bunch of money and like dips. But
Yeah.
it that's not a foregone conclusion because let's say anything happens, like the economy takes a dip, some random missile hits some random anything like a battleship, and like the public perception of the Biden administration flips. Like right now, Biden's weirdly enough kind of like hovering around 60% approval, which is that like strong approval. It's just like it's not a strong dislike, basically. Like it doesn't take much. Like if those checks don't come out by like July,
Yeah.
that that might be enough to like push it over the top, right? So like we're in a very precarious position.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to like. I wouldn't say that I like believe in Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely a Biden supporter over anyone else that was in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's weird that his approval rating kind of depends on how little he does. Like,
Yeah.
the less he does, honestly, the better his approval rating would probably be because there's going to be less people angry
Right.
over which way he goes.
I think that to your point, like I supported a couple of different people during the presidential run. Like I am a bit of a pragmatist, right? Like I think like when Bernie was making his run, right? And
Yeah.
I am kind of like a sort of old school with it. So I was like, Bernie's guy is interesting, but like I saw what the party was doing, trying to like keep some more mainstream naming. Obviously, like it that ended up being a mistake because um I think she may have been able to beat Bernie without assistance, but by getting assistance, we don't know that. And there's far too many people in the country that are like, Bernie got screwed over, right? Um, the second time around, I was like, yeah, I still like Bernie, but I felt like Trump had like boxed him in messaging wise with like socialism and stuff like that. So it was like Kamala had that one good early debate. I was like, all right, maybe we'll go that way. And then she wasn't viable after that. And I was like, Warren was probably the next closest thing that I could get behind. And then she wasn't really viable. So at that point, I kind of coalesced around Biden, especially when Super Tuesday happened. And I'm really impressed by like what you're saying, what his superpower is, which is the less he does, the better it is. Like when he was on the campaign trail, and Trump was like, "You're hiding in your basement." It's like, yeah, but he's not saying stupid shit live.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Less is
um,
more with him.
and like with the impeachment and everything like that, he's basically, or even like the election being stolen, he's basically been like, no comment,
Not my
and
place.
like that's actually the right call. Don't give it oxygen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it was tough to. My mom was like panicked over Biden winning,
yeah,
and was like, "I have to move all my funds out of the banks. Like, this is terrible. We're gonna
yeah,
lose everything." And I was like, "You're gonna be surprised how little things change.
correct,
Nothing's changing. He's
correct.
barely a Democrat. He's right down the center.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine. And then she's like, no, well, no, maybe not him, but once he dies and Kamala takes over and she's a socialist, just like
Yeah,
so. No, they're not.
yeah,
They're just
yeah.
not.
They're not. They're corporate government entities, right? Like
Yeah, they're
th-
lifelong
they're
politicians.
they're basically what Republicans used to be. I don't know what Republicans are now, but like Biden is closer to that with some and I think that this is a strength of Bernie in Bernie's current position. I think he's more effective in where he is right now than he would have been as president at any point. Like the $15 minimum wage is something that's like seriously being considered. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect there to be political capital for that. This $1 trillion like bill, like if Biden didn't have the Bernie kind of like backbone there, he would have folded, and these checks would have been like $700 checks, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Bernie was like, nah, come on, man, you can't do that, right? And Biden's like, I guess I can't. And
Well,
like,
you gotta hype up Andrew Yang too
yeah,
for
Yang Gang, man.
that first idea of like let's give people money.
You got to vote for that guy for mayor
Yeah, I
when
would.
he
I
runs.
think he'd be good.
Yeah, New York. I don't know. New York can't figure out their their politicians.
Well, of course not. I mean, it's a disaster. It's a like no one can do that job. Whenever anyone wants to run for anything, I'm like, you're
Yeah,
you can't do anything.
right, right. Because like I remember Cuomo took his victory lap and he was like, "Yeah, I did it," and it was like, wait a minute, you've been hiding the number of deaths in nursing homes for
Right.
how long? Wait, are you still gonna like release that book you were writing about I'm the best? Like
Yeah.
don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
um, I like to call like balls and strikes, right? Like to your point, like Biden, I'm not expecting much from him, right? Like I think that his politics align closer to mine, which is why given the alternative of Trump or Biden, I was like, yeah, I'm taking Biden because it's closer to a left policy than Trump. It's not more complicated than that, right? But like Trump is such a cult of personality thing, and he's a good messenger, right? So like your mom thinks that like, oh, Biden's going to tank the market because Trump said that. Trump said the
Right.
stock market's high because of me. If he gets in, it's going to tank. So like, yeah, of course his supporters believe that, but like as someone that works in that field,
Hmm.
Wall Street loves Joe Biden. Let me repeat that one more time. Wall Street loves Joe Biden because he's been around for forever. He's part of the donor class. Like they know what they're getting out
Exactly.
of him.
All
You got
reliable.
half of Goldman Sachs in the cabinet. So look, we'll get our little progressive bread crumbs. We'll get probably not 15, but we'll get a minimum wage increase. You'll get a little student loan relief and maybe a check, but that's about it.
And some nice tweets about how like everyone should love everyone and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
The kumbaya shit. And
yeah, on my first day in office I will take actions to make sure everyone is loved by everyone. Okay, what does that mean? But still, at least there's a
it's
narrative
better
of
than
love. Yeah,
beat them over the head, right? Like
exactly. It's better than we have to figure out what is going on, you know.
yeah. I know like people don't like hyperbolic like language, and I don't either, but like Trump is a flirtation with what an American system could consider fascism, right? Like he is the closest thing to a viable authoritarian leader that I've seen. Not saying that he was, not saying that he is, but like he's close. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like he wrote the playbook.
right,
It's now confirmed that it can be done by
right,
someone with the brain chops.
yeah. Like if you look at someone like a Putin type character, which is like once you get the levers of power and you have enough support, at least initially, to not have to concede the levers of power, you're president for life.
Yep.
And you can keep having elections and stuff like that and make it look like it's a fair election happen. Like that's not true.
But like then you could also jail the people running against you. Like
Yeah, of course, or poison their underwear, which is
right.
like weirdly what he did. That's
I don't know.
um
I think maybe we just shouldn't have presidents anymore.
maybe not. I think like some of like again, I'm more of a skeptic than a lot of people when it comes to like but they brought me around. Like I was more of a skeptic of some of the progressive like talking points. So I was like, I don't see how that's viable in this political system. But like it seems to be more viable. So like things like ranked choice voting actually starting to make sense. We would probably do well with something resembling a parliamentary system because I think this two-party system is doesn't work anymore. Even in like a parliamentary system, like sides are going to like coalesce and become de
Hmm.
facto parties, but like there's more variation, right? If Trump does break off and does like the Patriot Party, I don't know what that looks like, right? Like
Yeah.
does he align with the GOP? Do they like I don't know, but it's more plausible today than it was a month ago to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to work too hard to convince me. Ian.
Did you run for? You ran for
Ran for a board of
board of
ed.
ed, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, so Charlie Cradaville, friend of ours,
Yeah.
and who he's the editor in chief of New Brunswick Today, reached out to me back in late 2019 and was telling me about this DevCo project where they were taking the damn, I forget. I'm drawing a blank because it's been a while, but like it's not the Lord Sterling School, but the school right down the street across from Johnson Johnson. They're tearing it down, and they're going to build a new school. Apparently, the plans are now it's over at Jersey Avenue near like the Walgreens here,
Okay.
and it was kind of like this shadowy, like sneaky thing that was happening. And Charles was like, "Hey, we're putting together a team to run against these guys." I was like, "You know what? Screw it. I run for political office."
Yeah.
And we were doing pretty good. When so the election was going to be in April of 2020. Around February and March, obviously what happened. So traditional campaigning was off. So I couldn't fundraise. I couldn't like go door to door because it was a global pandemic. So we ended up taking took about a third of the vote, which isn't bad. But we thought we were a pretty viable team, but yeah, it didn't quite work out. But I would run again for something, not board of ed. I don't think I'm the strongest board of ed candidate. I want to run for like committee or something like that.
Well, with getting 1/3 with the situation, because was the vote still in April?
Yeah, it got pushed back slightly, and then it became all mail. Like it was before the general election. That was the first kind of like mail-in ballot kind of universal thing that they did in Jersey, and yeah, got to vote for myself. I think the numbers were I got around 225 votes, which like I'm very thankful for anyone that voted for me. I thought that's really cool, right? But I remember I was listening to one of the board of ed meetings after the fact because I was going to get on and say something basically because like the election had just happened. I was going to basically formally concede,
Right.
but they cut off the number of people that could talk. But they were talking like so much shit about us, kind of like they were like the people have sent an overwhelming message
Right.
about. I'm like, dude, I was in my pajamas and like got like almost 300 votes. Go fuck yourself. Like don't rile me up because I'll try and take your job, dude. It's a tough thing though. Local politics. It's you see where like the machine kind of level starts early.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even if I won, I think there would have been a lot of pressure on me to find some common ground on that DevCo project. Like I don't make any illusion. Like I agree with Charlie's politics to an extent. But like if they presented a rational argument for me with the school and like what they were doing behind the scenes, I might have been able to get my vote. But like in general, like what people wanted us to run on was that the community felt like they weren't part of the conversation. And to me, I thought that was more important than necessarily the outcome. And that's why I ran. I'm like I said, I'm a pragmatic guy, dude. Like I do want good, change and stuff like that for the community. But like, if you make a good argument, and I can see it, like, yeah, I'll get behind you. But like, the way they jammed through that project was not right.
Fishy.
Yeah, even if the result ends up being good, like, process matters.
Yeah. I have to imagine that seeing that process of like local government and seeing that even in local small government, it's toxic and weird, and then thinking to yourself, I can't imagine how bad it is on a higher level.
This is a nonpartisan, like unpaid position.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, what? Like you guys are running basically like a negative. They weren't really doing negative ads, but like like they were talking a lot of shit whenever they had a public forum. So I was like,
oh man, I'd love to see a slaughter ad on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, slaughter. Did you know this radical? Do you think this is funny? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
You're like,
type 5.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I was walking and I like shit my pants walking home one day. He shit his pants walking home. Is this who you want teaching your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do like kind of think sometimes, like with all the random stuff that I do, it's like I could see one day like corporate knocking on my door, like I'm running for an office, and someone's like, "Hey, you remember this?" I was like, "Oh, I don't." Like, oh, that doesn't look good. Like, I have no real fear of cancel culture. I don't think it's real.
It's
Like,
not real.
and it's just like, okay, if I said something incendiary, and even if I forgot about it, even if I didn't mean it, like if I said it, and you pull the receipts, I mean, I'd be like,
Going
my
off.
bad. Like,
Yeah.
and
What
if
Sage was saying on the last episode about like it doesn't exist. What that is just accountability.
right,
It's just like people calling you out for saying something.
right,
It's not like some weird force of nature.
right, like,
I don't
oh,
know.
the lefties are gonna get on Twitter, and now like they're on my doorstep, and I can't go to Trader Joe's anymore. It's like, nah. Like a good example is back when like Shane Gillis got fired from SNL,
Oh yeah.
and people were like, oh, it's cancel culture. I was like, no, they're a corporate entity. It's like NBC or whatever. Like, you can't make jokes about Asian people that get found out and join the cast with Bo and Yang. It like it doesn't
Yeah.
work. You can't sell
It's like the
Tide
same thing as a
Pods.
background check.
Yeah, it totally. Like again, like I don't think we're entitled to these like things, right? Like I don't think that I should have a sitcom on like ABC just because I tried hard. Like,
Right.
sure, I would love to, and if given the opportunity, sure, I would hate if I got like canceled, but I wouldn't be like upset about it. I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, that was kind of stupid. I kind of fucked that up, huh?
Yeah. And
You
move
know,
on. And maybe
and
people are convinced of your growth later on in life. But
yeah, but like I think that talking about that cancel culture thing, I think it's bullshit, right? Like I think people get put into a penalty box, and then the mob, as it were, because they always say it's a mob. Like the mob doesn't have staying power, right? Like in 2 years, you'll be fine. Like check out like Louis C.K.'s career right now. Like,
right.
oh my God, he was canceled. Like the guy's selling out shows again. Like he's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
He's didn't he recently sell out like a week at the Stress Factory?
yeah,
Like
of
during
course.
COVID.
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. Like, you know, even I remember doing a show with Chelsea because Lewis was at the State
Yeah,
Theater.
that Louis show we did.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
fun.
that was fun. It's like, I guess technically we were boycotting like Louis C.K., but like nobody gave a fuck. Like that show did fine
Yeah,
down
for
at the State
a
Theater, you
few
know.
people
But
did.
like,
Yeah, the State Theater thing was sold out anyway, so it's
yeah,
not
but
like
like,
they were gonna pull anyone.
but hey, we had fun, right? We
That
made
was
our
such a
point.
fun night. Yeah,
Yeah,
made our point.
yeah. Kate Nicholas as Fozzie Bear is one the greatest bits the world will never know.
Yeah, I wish I had been filming that
Me
bit though.
too. Me
She
too.
must have read. Uh, so the concept of the show was women comedians dressing up as problematic male comedians.
Right.
Uh, and so Kate chose Fozzie Bear, and she must have read every single bullshit apology that's come from a dude comedian
Yeah.
because it had all the tropes
Right.
of an apology as Fozzie Bear. It was
I would like to
everyone blew their
apologize
mind
to
at
Miss Piggy for all of the hurtful language that I used. That shit was perfect. It was like perfect satire, man. Like
Yeah, it
like
was.
of course Fozzie Bear would be a controversial comedian. Of course he'd have to issue, like you mentioned, one of those
Exactly.
like TJ Miller apologies.
Yeah. TJ
I
Miller,
look,
another Melissa was TJ that night.
yeah. Who was in I watched this movie. I thought I liked Christian Stewart, right? Like I hold no ill will towards Christian Stewart, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna have like a Christian Stewart movie night. And at the time, I was kind of in like a dry January, and I was like, first I'm gonna watch Underground, which is like or no, it's Underwater or something like that. And she's in it. TJ Miller for some reason is in that movie, and it's like a disaster kind of film, like our underwater science base is getting attacked by monsters, kind of, right? It's like bullshit, right? And I was like, um, I watched it, I was like, man, that was kind of bad. So then we watched Kristen Stewart in Seberg, where she plays, I believe, woman's name was Joan Seberg, who's a French actress who had some ties with, like, the Black Panther movement. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then I watched that and I was like, oh, this sucks too. So it's like I still like her and I like her work, but I was like, these were two poor choices that I made tonight. It's like I'm not giving up on her.
It's TJ's fault.
It's definitely TJ's fault. It's the writer's fault.
Yeah.
Because like the Seberg movie was like that I didn't watch it yet, but like that Judas and the Black Messiah movie came out this week, right? Seberg would kind of be like, and she's an interesting person, someone that people should like look up and like, look at her work, because she was like a very fascinating artist that had like literally the U.S. government like spying on her. So like that,
Really?
yeah, because like
And
she had
was
like,
it like the panic of the Black Panthers?
yeah, she had like
Okay.
loose ties. Like she wrote a check to the Black Panthers once, and like Hoover, I think, was like, yeah, Hoover, I think, was like, oh, we got to watch this person, right?
Right.
And she kind of, it kind of trails like how that affected her and stuff like that. But the problem with the movie is like, here are the Black Panthers, and we're like, as the left would say, we're centering on like this rich, famous like French actress. It's like, oh, look how bad she's got it. It's like, but Fred Hampton,
Right.
like, and it's
Also,
like,
let's give her all the credit for the Black Panthers work. Like,
right.
It was all her.
So it was like, it wasn't a bad movie at all, and I thought that like the subject was interesting, but it's like, do the movie about the people she's talking to and not about her, I think. But whatever. That's just a personal complaint. I'm sure people love that movie.
I mean, that's definitely a spot on complaint. I'm excited to see the one. It's on HBO Max now.
Yeah.
And the Lucas brothers put it out, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, which is crazy. Like that's such a good get for them, right?
Oh man, that one of the last shows I ever saw was them too, and it was
they're hilarious.
Oh man, they're just like so important to be together. I wonder what it would be like to see one on the stage.
Yeah, that's true. I think like the reason like some comedy duo like that could do like a movie like that is because I like the way they think. Like earlier we were talking about commitment to the bit. I just think that like they have this funny, like non-apologetic, like this is what we like humor that like I just appreciate so much.
It's like sitting at a dinner table with them and they're telling you a story.
Right.
So good.
Like I guess like back when I was doing bits, like that's why like I think the Ghost Brothers bit works for me, because like Black paranormal investigators, like what like why are you talking about this? It's like, I don't know, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Or even like your thing, like the Fuller House, like the idea of like you have this canonical comedic story that you were telling.
Yeah,
And like again, I don't know how much effort, but like it looked like a serious amount of effort. Like the production that went into it, I was like, man, your commitment to that joke is awesome.
It was pretty tough. Started with me getting kicked off of Twitter. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but I got kicked off of Twitter in 2015.
Yeah, like you got the Trump ban, the permanent.
It was I impersonated Andrea Barber.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't impersonate celebrities.
Wow, really?
But I was acting like I was doing a Q&A.
Oh, okay. So they got mad because you misrepresented a celebrity.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. You didn't incite a riot though, but you
No.
Okay, good. That's good.
I didn't say take to the Capitol or anything like that.
And then like I'm looking for the movie like years now where like I luck my way into like political office, and then like I'm a political martyr, and then like we center on you getting kicked off of Twitter. Like the movie's about you.
I would love, like, on your way out of office, just like shoot me a Twitter pardon.
Yeah. And what they did to Ian was terrible. It's like, what? Like I don't know, like that bit, because I'm trying to remember the chain of events, but like the thing where we were pitching shows, that was the
Oh, the
original.
upfronts.
Yeah,
That was the original Fullest House thing.
right,
Before that, it was just Fuller House, and
right,
I was acting like I was promoting that show that already existed.
right, right.
And then that character who was a fan of Fuller House convinced himself that ABC has asked him to put on their upfront presentation,
Yeah.
and announce this new show, Fullest House.
You know what? Like,
And then along with that, everyone would pitch their shows for ABC.
you know, it's funny because like the comedy community is like so tight knit that like you're probably at a show with people like I would love. Maybe we should put this together. Maybe this is us putting this together. We should do the mass comedian.
Okay. No,
and
I pitched this, dude.
yeah. Uh,
Brian St. John is doing it now, I think.
oh, is he? Oh man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Son
sure
of a
he's
bitch.
doing it at Brighton Bar.
That's bullshit. It should be you.
It should be us. It should be
It
us.
should be
I
us.
pitched this to Melissa Jobin, and she told me no.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're crazy. This is gonna be huge." And
It's
lo
hilarious.
and behold,
Yeah,
lo
yeah.
and behold.
There, you know what? You've been vindicated, validated. Yeah. That's funny that Brian St. John's doing it. That crowd, I'm sure whatever's happening there is hilarious. They are. That is an interesting rogues gallery out there in
Yeah.
Brighton. They're taking
I miss Brighton Bar a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great stage actually. Really good stage. I did a show with what the hell's her name? Heather Lowry.
Yeah, Heather Lowry.
Yeah, I did a show with her there, and it was great. But no, I just like that mass comedian idea is so funny because like for me the joke is the audience having to guess like out of a lineup of people who's doing the set. It's like
Right.
it's like especially when, like there's one black guy on the show and like you can see it was like no it's Brian, you know.
Everyone's wearing a Batman mask.
Yeah. But like I just like an audience that's like not in on the bit having to be in on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like forcing at Elmwich. That's why I love doing shows at Elmwich so much. Is most of the audience aren't aware that there's a show tonight.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
walk in just looking to drink, and then they end up in a bizarre world.
Yeah.
Where yeah.
I almost got beat up at the Elmwich for a joke Tito made. The last time we did our mic there, and honestly, I didn't stop doing my mic there because of this event. It just kind of like randomly kind of worked out that way. Like,
oh yeah,
because like I at first was like, yeah, let's take maybe a couple weeks off, and then we just never picked it back up. And you know, it wasn't because Rob was like, you can't do it anymore. We just kind of like it was on us. We just fell off. But Tito made some joke, and it wasn't the best thing to say. But somebody in the crowd was like, "What the fuck? That's so messed up." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Like you can bring it up with him. Like he's over there. Like I don't know why you're yelling at me right now." It's like, how do you put this type of like show on? It's like I just put a microphone up, and it was like, of course I have, I guess, some personal responsibility of like in the sense of like I did facilitate a room where someone could uncheck talking to a microphone, right?
Right.
But
you're not screening these open mic.
No, I'm not screening. Yeah, if it was a show and you were mad at me, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's on me. Like you paid money, here's a refund. I can't, you know. But it was an open mic. I was like, well, look, man, basically like take it up with him, right? like or I guess even like the establishment. But like this person like bum rushed me on stage, and it was like it was a woman too. So I was like, this is weird. Like, how do I
like tackled you on stage?
No, like I said something like I was sitting there, I was like, look, I was like, you know, these comics that come up here, like they do their thing, like, and I was like conceding her point. I was like, I don't think what he said was right. Like I'm conceding that ground. But if you have a problem with the language that he used, like I think you should take it up with him. And like you're yelling at me and you're not really like proving your point in this interaction, right? And I forget what the exact inciting incident was, but like I was like, you know, keep me out of it. Like I don't got time for this shit. And she comes at me and tries to like take the mic out of my hand. and I'm like, yo, back the fuck up, basically. And I think somebody, one of the comments or something like that grabbed her or something like that, and then like Rob came down because he can see the what's going on. He's got like you can see the footage, and like that was that, right? That was that night. We were done that evening.
That's the show.
Yeah, that was the show. Like they eventually talked to that girl. She left. I think Rob had to make a public statement. And I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot for.
Yeah, I remember that statement. I remember waking up and seeing that and being like,
yeah, yeah. And it was one of those things where I was just like, I don't want anybody like, and that's why I do comedy the way that I do. It's like I don't want anybody to feel bad at a comedy show. I don't think that I'm not repeating it. Like I don't think you should have said it, right? But also like I didn't say it. It was basically my only point. It was like I didn't say it. So like, and the guy who said it, it's not like he left. Right? It wasn't like I like ushered him out the back door and like now he wasn't there. I was just like, you're yelling at me and you're 10 feet away from the guy you're mad at.
Different if you're like protecting him or like
right. And she was like, oh, it's bullshit that you would let someone go up there and say like, let's just say like incendiary language or something like that. And it's just like, I didn't let him do anything, right? You know, again, a very strange situation. I think on some level I could have handled it better myself by de-escalating the situation, but also, you know, this person who had been at the bar for a while was like drinking and just yelling at me, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I kind of want to keep this mic going because other people traveled to get here, and I would like to get them on stage, and that didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. It's over. That the Alien Witch is like, it's a good energy for a Bizarro show, but for like music and stuff, and even just like traditional open mics, people get like impatient.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to host a bar mitzvah there than it is to do an open mic, surprisingly.
Totally. I think it's the flow of the room, right? Like, you can't really. There's like a science to it, right? Like the way people sit.
Like, what do people want to do when they're drunk?
Yeah, right.
You know?
They don't want to listen to us usually.
No.
Unless they knew they were going to.
They might want to listen to themselves, which is something you could do. Is like give the drunk audience the mic.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think that that is something that I think a lot of us as comics do, where you know we assume that because we went through the effort to like make a mic happen, that like people have to listen to it.
Right.
And it's like, no, nah.
And then people clear out, and it's just like the same 15 people.
Yeah.
And we're all watching each other do the bits that we all have seen each other do.
Right. I just think that like there's a balance, right? Like there's a balance of like the self-importance of the artist and like the reality of the situation. It's like you are in a public space, basically. I guess probably because it's a business, but like it's more or less a public space, and you just like they were watching the football game, and you started talking about the relationship with your brother or something like that. It's like, well, I don't know who you are or care what you have to say. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we take it too personally when people don't want to listen to us.
It's true.
Which is why we start podcasts.
That's why you start podcasts. Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Oh, my friend, we've been talking for some time. Is there anything?
How long has it been?
Well, it's 3:00 now.
Wow.
Yeah. Is there anything?
Probably the longest we've ever talked.
This is. I think we should talk more because I think we're actually friends.
We're friends, but like it's a weird thing where like I can never tell if someone is close with me or not. But I know like, yeah, I know who I would consider friends and who not.
Yeah.
But it's tough to really know in the comedy world.
Well, when you messaged me, you're like, "Oh, I'd be on." I was like, "That's a great idea. That's a great idea," because I knew that we would click, you know, and vibe because we have like this is like the first real long form, extended, not like I'm drunk, you're drunk, like conversation.
No one's drunk. No one has to overthank the other for doing their show.
Right. No, I was like, no, what you did tonight was important. Yeah. No, this is and honestly, like, if you ever want to jump on again, I mean, like,
Yeah, and I gotta deliver you a
a
little
stinger,
interesting. Yeah,
a stinger, a punch to the shoulder, man.
exactly. A welcome back.
Yeah, I would I would forever be in your debt if you gave me a 90s style
Dun, dun,
stinger.
dun.
You know, if you're channeling uh what's his name? Baker Street with the sax, you know.
Exactly.
Do do your thing. I'm not gonna stop you. Actually, before we get off, I gotta show you this. I was I was in a Target, and at the time, like I am right now, I'm like 32 years old, right? And I like saw this, and
Whoa.
yeah, like this thing is badass, dude. Like plays the organ.
That's a nice sounding organ.
Yeah, it's got
Oh, meows.
yeah. So like sometimes I do like Kanye's Runaway with like meow sounds.
Look at you. Look at you.
Oh man, but I knew you'd appreciate that. Like maybe
I love it. I can't lie. I have seen that before, and I've thought about it.
yeah,
You actually did it. Right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
look, you have
and
devil horns.
that's
You
it.
see it?
What's that?
You see that you have devil horns? Wait, lean back.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, there it is.
Ooh,
I am the devil. But
badass.
no, like I think earlier, and I appreciate you making the sentiment when you said that like I live an interesting life. It's like
You too.
that thing that would tell you like you don't need that. You don't need that cat organ. You're an adult. This is the children's section in a Target. It's got a little microphone connected to it.
Yeah.
Surely you've grown out of this phase of your life. And I was like, here's some American money. Give me that fucking cat keyboard.
Exactly. I still read Dave Pilkey books. I'm reading Dragon Ball, which is definitely for kids.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna send you the link when we're done to that
Yeah.
humble bundle, because Attack on Titan should be your next anime.
Oh yeah.
It's a little I don't know. It's a more like depressing is not the word, but it's a more intense subject matter than Dragon Ball. Like even when people die, they don't really die in Dragon Ball Z, right? Like
Right.
this is kind of like a slightly it's very much an apocalyptic kind of storyline, but like it's anime, so like tweens are like solving the apocalypse for us, right?
That's dope.
Yeah, and one day we're gonna do that. We're gonna write the tween apocalypse save the day through like mass comedy manga.
I say we just ignore Brian St. John and do the masked comedian.
Yeah, honestly, a good comedy beef never hurt anybody.
Yeah, I would love to beef with someone.
Yeah. Well, today's the day. So Brian St. John is listening, which I know
Calling
he's
you
not.
out. Yeah. Tag him in the video and say we called him out in the video.
Yeah, we called you out, Brian. We threw down the gauntlet, and honestly, your premise, I'm sure you got a nice little production over there at Brighton, but this is New Brunswick's finest over here.
Yeah.
Oh man, but cool, man. Unless you had any like random thing you want to bring up before we get off the mic.
I can't think of anything.
Mm.
Tell Pri I said hello.
I will tell her that. And
do you guys have like a romantic Valentine's Day?
Not really, because we did this book club thing. Like okay. But it wasn't like bad that it wasn't
mushrooms.
Yeah. But we kept the mushrooms out of the equation.
Oh, but like you were talking about mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like we were talking about mushrooms, which is this is incriminating, and I shouldn't include this, but I will anyway. I'm sitting there like I had like a jar of like mushrooms in my house from before, and I'm just like every time I'm reading the book, I kind of glance over at them, and I'm like, nah. Like
maybe for the last chapter.
You're right. That is the last chapter. As a great artist once said, the rest is still unwritten.
Oh, Natasha.
Bedingfield.
You should have that playing as we go out.
Yeah. You know what? I'll do that. If it doesn't get me kicked off of YouTube, I'll do it for.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll do it for the iTunes. Maybe I could do it if I use a clip from The Hills. That's the song they use in the reality TV series The Hills.
Just give credit to the Hills.
Yeah, yeah. And no credit to Brian St. John.
No. Not at
Well,
all.
cool, man. I know I asked everyone this. I don't know if you got like a Venmo or a Cash App you want to like plug.
No.
All right, cool.
Please follow me ASAP on Instagram. Do not Venmo me.
Okay. What's the what is the Instagram?
Please follow me ASAP.
Okay, that's what it was. It was please follow
Yeah.
me. I know that because I see it, but like now I'm like, all right, I'll follow you, bro. It's okay. Like, yeah. So Ian Wolsten on please follow me ASAP on Instagram. The great mind behind Fuller House, this show specifically, he wrote it in Fuller's House.
Right.
This is a pleasure, man. We're looking forward to that stinger, and we're looking forward to the next time you're on the show.
Thanks for having me, Reggie.
Thanks, man. Later.